Bonjour! This is a tutorial on how to use PowerPoint. This is going to hit very basic, fundamental ideas in how to use modern PowerPoint software. One of the things that I always try to stress about PowerPoint is that when it finally comes down to it, there really isn't that much to talk about when it comes to PowerPoint. It's really very straightforward software. The very idea of a slideshow is something that doesn't require a whole lot of, I don't know, there's just not that much to talk about. So I usually only spend a little bit of time on a semester talking about PowerPoint. That said, there's a few features that I think you will find useful. So let's go to the tutorial. What we're going to do is build a slideshow about something very simple. Think of an animal that you like. Take a moment to do it. I'm going to use the capybara. So I'm going to open up the Wikipedia page for the capybara. You can feel free to have another Wikipedia page open to like harvest information from. I'm going to use this one because their licensing is generally pretty forgiving. So it's pretty, plagiarism isn't usually that big of a deal. And as long as you paraphrase the information, you're going to be just fine. So we will open the PowerPoint app. PowerPoint is presentation software. Its primary goal is to give you ways to, sorry, I have files open from another tutorial. That's embarrassing. Okay, we'll create a blank presentation. So, creating a slideshow. This is designed to give you the power to create visual aids for doing actual presentations, in the important thing about PowerPoint is to recognize that the slideshow itself is not the presentation. The presentation is you speaking knowledgeably about a topic and then using the slides as a visual aid. And so people that poo-poo using PowerPoint for various reasons are neglecting to understand what the purpose of PowerPoint actually is, which is it gives you the ability to display information in a way that summarizes the things that you're saying and sort of offers a additional additional context or clarification of the things that you're talking about. Some people will use PowerPoint to distribute things like lecture notes, and I'm guilty of this too, as you've all seen. I don't know that I like that practice, but at the same time, I'm super guilty of it, so, what do I know? So let's begin. What you'll usually start with is a title slide that doesn't really have much going on. What I like to do is type in my title, capybara, nature's friendliest animal. Okay, super boring, not much. You'll notice over here, if you have the design tab, the designer pane open, it will give you suggestions for different layouts that look sometimes pretty cool. I'm not going to use any of these. Instead, what I'm going to do is go up to the Insert tab, click on Pictures, and find some online pictures. And from here, I'm going to search Bing, the, bingiest search engine there is. It's really your only option. Capybara, push enter. Leave this checked, Creative Commons only. That means that your licensing will be much more lenient. And then find a picture of an animal, the animal that you've chosen that you like. So I'm using the capybara. Where was the one I liked? Which one was the one I was using? I was using this one as my main one. I have to move this picture of me. Insert. So it's going to plop it down in the middle. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Hang on, before I do this. Let's add a theme. So we're going to go to Design and pick a theme. So these themes are like uniform color palettes and ways of enhancing the look and feel so that you don't just have some text on a white background. I'm going to use this one over here with a little, I don't know, it just looks nice. Then I'm going to reinsert that picture. Online. Using the themes, again, is something that's kind of like always in a Microsoft Office product. They always have like this theming templates, these ways of enhancing the fonts, the color palettes, and things like that, and just keeping everything kind of unified. And that's the one. Insert. Plops it down right in the middle, but as you can see on the right-hand side, I have a bunch of layouts using my theme that enhance the use of the picture and the text and make everything kind of look really pretty nice. Google Slides has a feature similar to this called the Explore pane. It's not quite as well developed, or it's got some problems that I find frustrating. PowerPoint does this far and away just way better. Okay, so let's add a new slide. Now, if you look over here, there is... Hang on, I'm just going to check here real quick. Adding slides. If you look here, the Add Slide button has... So this is in the Home tab. This is where your most important tools are. New slide. If you click on the bottom half, you'll get a bunch of layouts, and these are actually really useful to use. But generally speaking, I will use either title and content or to content. I almost never use these ones down here unless I'm doing something very specific. So I'm going to take title and content, and usually if you click the top half, that's sort of the default. So let's create like a definition slide. What is a capybara? I'm not going to make you guys watch me type all the slides. I'll pause the video at some point. Capybara is the largest rodent in the world, native to South America. Adults are 3.5 to 4.4 feet long. It's pretty big. It's a big rodent. They can weigh as much as 200 pounds. All right, nice little slide. Got some things, and you'll notice the Designer tab will suggest some possible layouts for this. None of them are great. I mean, you could do maybe something like this, maybe something like this, something like this if you're just going for a text-only slide. But I want to add an image. So I am going to do that. Insert picture from online. Excuse me. Capybara. Oh, I want this one. The mouth open. It's not the same one I used in the tutorial, but I think you'll agree that it looks awesome. So there it is. And once again, the Designer tab or pane will give us some suggestions. If by some chance you're doing this on campus, on those computers, they have a version of Microsoft Office called Office 2016, and they might not have the Designer tool, so you may have to do this in a slightly different way. And I can walk you through that in class if it comes to that. So if we're doing this on campus, this tutorial might not be as relevant as if you're doing it on a home computer, which will almost certainly have either Office 2019, which definitely has this feature, or Office 365, which is the current rolling release version. So anyway, I'm going to pick one of these. Pick this one. I like that one. Actually, let's do this one. And let's do this again. Now what I'm going to ask you to do is pick 4 slides. Create 4 slides. Use these headings. Habitat, diet, social habits, conservation status. Use a Wikipedia page to find this information. Like there's the range of the animal, things like that. You can use these images and use the information in the Wikipedia page to fill in those gaps. I'm going to pause the video and I'll resume once I have all this information put in. And here we are on our last slide. We're just polishing up. I'm going to select template and go with that. Oh, maybe that one's not so great. It's not a really great image. It's kind of low resolution. So you see how it's kind of blurry. We're still going to go with it because it's just an example. Anyway, next step will be to add some animations and transitions. So there's kind of a philosophy at play here. I adhere to the philosophy that less is always going to be more. Less is better. And so I'm going to go into the transitions here. I'm going to go back to the first slide. I'm going to go into transitions. I'm going to look at what we have. Some of these are frankly ridiculous. They are like, this one is 4 seconds long. That's too much. It's too much. So I usually like to go for kind of nice looking ones that are like less than 3 seconds, or just over 2 seconds, or even just 1 second, just real quick. Like this one it's too much. One of the ones I actually really like is the blinds. It's a nice animation, but it isn't like, it's less than 2 seconds long. It's nice and quick. It's really straightforward. So then you'll notice once we add a transition to a slide, this is the animation that will play between the transition from one slide to the next. So right now it's just on the first slide. We can apply that to all slides by hitting this button here that says apply to all, and that adds this little star icon to each slide here. See what I mean? So now whenever you click and it's time to move to a new slide, it'll play this little animation. So if I start my slideshow like this, and then I hit my space bar, let's swap. There we go. Hit my space bar, you'll see it kind of like goes through as if it were blinds. It goes through each slide. All right. Let's add some animations. So there's a principle called progressive disclosure, which allows you to reveal information on your slides for best dramatic effect while you're giving your presentation. If you have all of your bullets on the slide when it first is revealed, then your audience is going to read the bullets rather than listen to you talk. So it's almost always better to reveal information slowly as you're speaking, and then when your audience sees the bullet appear as you hit it at just the right moment in your speech, it has a better dramatic effect. So this is how I do this. You go up into so we're in the Transitions tab. We're going to pop over to the Animations tab. And in order to do this, notice how they're all grayed out at the moment. That's because I don't have any object in the scene selected. So you can animate everything. I can click on this image and have it appear. I can click on this text and have it appear, or do some sort of kind of emphasis thing. I can have it, do some little goofy thing like that. Generally speaking, the only animations I use are the disclosure ones, the ones that cause the text to appear in. So what I'll usually do is, if your text is arrayed as a bulleted list, you can just select the text box that has them, the content box that has those bullet lists, and then just add in an animation. And what that will do is it'll cause each one to add in 1, 2, 3. Notice how these numbers appear? It'll add each one come in, and the default behavior is to come in on click. So whenever you click, that item will appear. So there we are. Let's swap again. Click, 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 click. Much better effect. Go ahead and apply something like this to each of your slides, just to the bullet lists. You can do something more fancy for your PowerPoint project. I'll do fade in, and I'll do a, just a fly in, just so that we can see what the animations look like. And now if we go through this, we'll hit this, we'll go through and just test it. It always does that. There we go. So then each bullet will come in kind of on its own animation. Next slide, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next slide, 1, 2, 3, 4. Next slide. You can kind of like speed through it and test all your animations. Make sure they're working, and that's it. That's it for this tutorial. Going for something about this complexity, 6 slides, some bullets, information can be just copied from Wikipedia. I don't care for this assignment. It's all Creative Commons anyway, so it shouldn't matter. Make sure that all of your images are Creative Commons licensed, and then plagiarism won't be an issue. And that's that. Let's submit it. Save as. We're going to browse to our ITECH 100 folder. ITECH 100. And we're going to call it Capybara. Now we're going to upload it to Canvas. Boom. Bring that back. Start assignment. Oh, shoot. Hang on 1 second. Alright, so yeah, start assignment. Choose file. go to, well, there it is. I'm actually in my ITECH 100 folder. Other than that, you could go to Quick Access and find your most recent file, which will probably be it, and then hit Submit. And that's that. We'll see you in the next one.